Now on Talk Radio 1210 W.
30 years of podcast, TV, and newspaper experience here to us at 1210 WPHT. I encourage you to check out his website, kingofpodcasts.com. Thanks for coming back.
Oh, no, yeah. Trust me, it's always nice to get another call back in and an invite anytime you call. So it's been a little while, but no, I'm glad we were back on again.
Always a lot of content coming out. You got the Broadcasters podcast. You got Depraved and Debaucherous. You got the Wrestling is Real podcast, the one that started it all, 20 years ago. And now you have the new one, the Podcasters Row. And you put out a new episode pretty much every week of each and every one of them. I don't know where you get the energy. I asked you on the phone, even your Podcasters Row. How do you even track these people down? So what's the lay? Let's just go through them quickly. Podcasters Row. Who are you interviewing this week?
So already this week I have a couple episodes coming up. One is called Keep the Flame Alive. So Jared Jarris, Alison Brown. They do coverage of the Olympics and Paralympics. When, if the Olympics come up in Paris next year, 2024, you got to wait for, the networks like NBC to go and come on, about 3 months before. Then they'll start talking about Olympics. But where else do you go if you want to talk about it? These two ladies actually been doing it for years, and they actually get press credentials to the Olympic Games. They talk about it and talk with different guests on a regular basis. And
they cover only the Special Olympics.
No, Olympics and Paralympics. So the ones with the paralyzed.
Okay.
Correct. And they do those on a regular basis. And then the other show I did is also it was a show that was a show called the San Francisco Conservative. So one of the hosts is a journalist that worked as a producer in TV news. He worked for CNN, ABC, CBS. He worked for Charles Kuralt, Walter Cronkite, Diane Sawyer. He worked for some pretty big names. And his co-host is a jazz musician. He's a professor. He's an author of several books, essays. He's a San Francisco conservative. But, the way you write conservative, of course, can be construed because he's from San Francisco. So they have a podcast to do together on YouTube that really just encompasses more like a philosophical kind of thing. So they kind of go back and look at the Roman Empire was, or what it was in Greece, in early times, and the learning from the tragedy of those empires falling and kind of replicating where history doesn't, always doomed to repeat itself if those do not follow and listen to history. And that's what's happening again. So they just look at some of the comparisons there. They bring that across and just other things across the board that on both conversations, I was amazed by the Olympic stuff, but this thing with just on politics, I actually talked about on the interview, the 1965 Paul Harvey segment where he talked about If I Were the Devil. And I mentioned the point, that is exactly what we're going through.
With the woke agenda now, 1965, Paul Harvey, If I Were the Devil? He paints a picture of what we're living now, right?
Devil, what would you change? How would you change the schools? What would you put on TV? What would you make people think to indoctrinate and brainwash and completely just change the whole dynamic of a society? And that's what's happening in America. And you said it.
That's pretty amazing that many years ago. I want to move wrestling. I gave you a hard time when you started your wrestling podcast, and George and I go way back. I said to you, wrestling is fake, and you said to me, no, it's predetermined. I still laugh about that. And all these years later, you're kicking butt with this wrestling podcast still. Congratulations to you. The Wrestling is Real podcast. What's going on? I saw something on Twitter the other day. I remember I reposted it, but I can't remember what it was now. What was the latest episode?
So, real quickly, I want to bring something else up real quick. But one of the major stars now is Jey Uso. And he decided to start, criticizing the other companies that are not as big as the WWE because, he's like, if everybody's talking about, the fans want to see all these dream matches, competition with other stars that are not in their company, then why don't you just come to WWE and be a part of us? Because, otherwise you're not the major leagues. You're not important. We're not going to recognize you. So that's the whole kind of comedy of thing. I wanted to make one thing real quickly about, there's a movie coming out on Christmas Day called The Iron Claw. It's the story of the Von Erich family. If you want to know how real wrestling is to a family like that and to the fans, that movie's going to come out. And I'm telling you that story because of 5 brothers in that family, and 4 of them went into the wrestling business. 4 of them died tragically. And then you're talking about other people that died around them. It was just they were so loved, all these brothers so tightly knit together, bonded by faith, bonded by family, and so many tragic things happened to them. And that movie, I can't wait to spend see is coming up. And
you say
that becomes this real reality.
Now, what was the name of the family?
Oh, the Von Erich family, or the Atkinson family is the real name, but they were called the Von Erichs. That was their name, going back to where the father was working in the 50s as this German, soldier named Fritz Von Erich, and that was the whole idea. So post-World War I, he created this real bad guy character, and then he passed along that name to the rest of the family.
Now, is this a movie or a documentary?
Oh, yeah. No, it's a movie, and it's Zac Efron's in it, the guy that plays the bear on the FX show, and I forget who else, but it's a pretty widespread cast, and it's going back to the late 70s, early 80s about this family and telling the whole story.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be pretty cool to check it. Yeah, Zac Efron, he's pretty cool. I mean, once he got himself straightened out, and he stopped. He was drinking, right? He's okay now, though.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, if you look at what they look like all these guys, if you've ever seen them on TV, they all got jacked up. They all did training for wrestling. So, you look at them, these guys that they're playing were big, chiseled, muscle-bound, good-looking guys. And you'll see this here, and I'm telling you, that movie is that's as real as wrestling gets. They're not the stuff that you see in WWE. What you're going to see at WrestleMania, Philadelphia, at Lincoln Financial Field next year. Nothing like that. We're talking about families and this, just their livelihood. This is what they care about, and the fans that care about them so much. That's what wrestling always meant to me. That's why I say wrestling too.
Did you like the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke? It's been a few years now, but did you like that? Was that an accurate depiction?
I mean, there's a lot of things to go with it. I forget if that was. I think it was based on a real wrestler, but it was not a popular wrestler. It was just one that was working through the ranks and got some popularity, but not anything that was really big. But I thought Mickey Rourke did a really good job. Yeah, I thought it was good.
Dolly Parton, 77 years old, probably drove Eagles fans crazy yesterday by coming out the halftime show dressed as a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. I got to say, she looks good in the pictures, but I don't know. I like my women older too. I'm not one of these guys who's going to go for the trophy wife. I like women much older than me. But this was even a bit much for me. George, where are you at on this? Well, first, wait, before you give your opinion on Dolly, it's Thanksgiving Day. They never even used to have NFL games on Thanksgiving Day until about 30-some-odd years ago. Now, all of a sudden, they're having halftime shows like it's the Super Bowl. Isn't it a little bit overdone?
All I can say is Dolly Parton, for her age, she didn't embarrass herself. I think what she came out, how she was dressed, everybody's talking about. It's just everybody was talking about it in the media. So
she looked good in the pictures. I didn't see it live. Oh. She didn't embarrass herself. That's a very excellent point. But she, she's still got that great rack, though. I got to tell you that, man.
No. And what was it? Johnny Carson said I'd pay $1 million a peek under there. But anyways, but I'll tell you, Dolly, she didn't necessarily go ahead and go stretching herself out to sing. She did Jolene. She did 9 to 5. And you know what? She did fine. And you can tell, listen, she's older. And it's she's holding onto the platform right behind her to make sure she doesn't fall. So, she's just there. You can tell she's limited, but she's working with the limitations. She's accentuating the positives. The negatives, there's not much out there. And honestly, she got the better halftime show because the rapper Jack Harlow, he did a performance and everybody's panicking because it was coming out of an igloo or something like that in the middle of the field, and he's just doing his rap. There's no dancers, there's nothing else around. Dolly Parton's got dancers, she's got pyro, she's got all this going on. Pomp, it's just, I don't know. But Dolly Parton she still performs. She has an album coming out that there's all the reason for her to go out, and she did really well. God bless her, man. I can't believe she can still do so well. Listen, she's got, talk about 5, 6 decades of music, because it goes back to the 60s.
Yeah, go back. I will say this, though. She did promote the vaccine and criticize people who didn't get the vaccine. So I have to hold that against her. But she did look good in the pictures. And I will say this about Dolly. My girlfriend works for an advertising agency that a few years ago used Dolly Parton in a big ad campaign. And she came on the set and filmed the commercial, and she was just cool, laid back, like a regular person, no A-list attitude, no special demands, treated everybody with respect. So, I appreciate her from hearing those stories from behind the scenes. But Henry, do you think does it bother you she was dressed as a Dallas Cowboy? You as an Eagles fan, I'm guessing, right?
I mean, yeah, of course, but what am I supposed to do about that? I mean, we weren't the ones playing on Thanksgiving, but man, 77, she looks great for 77.
She looks great in the picture. I was just a little. She looks great in the picture, and I'm happy that they covered her legs with like some little white legging thing there under the shorts. So
stockings, yeah.
She had white stockings on and things like. In the pictures, she looked incredible, and listen. I'm probably getting in trouble, but man, that rack. Johnny Carson give $1 million. I wish I had $1 million to give. I would.
Well, that's also change for inflation. That was like 1970 something or other.
So I got to give $10 million now. I got to give $10 million. We're talking we're talking Zioli money there. I can't give $10 million.
I thought you were going to say Dom Geronimo money, more like it.
Don Geronimo, please. That guy has his first dollar. Dom. God, Dom. It's not called Dom time. It's called Dom's dime.
Yeah.
Henry, edit that out, Henry. Nah, leave it in. Unbelievable. I just think I'm sour on the NFL, so I can't say anything good about the NFL. But the weekend after Thanksgiving for me was never really about the NFL. It was when I was into football, it was always about college football because this is the weekend of the rivalry games. You got the Gators versus FSU, which is big down here. You obviously have Ohio State, Michigan, and so on and so forth down the road. It's almost like the NFL is trying to steal their thunder of the football weekend of rivalries, or am I just being biased, guys, because I'm sour on the NFL these days? George, what do you think?
Go ahead, Henry.
I was going to say, I think you might be a little biased there. I think the NFL just saw an opportunity to make money again, and they're like, oh, let's take Black Friday. I mean, there was only one really big rivalry game last night. It was the Egg Bowl between Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and that was a snooze fest too. I basically fell asleep.
The Egg Bowl.
Yeah, so I don't think it's crazy for them to play on Black Friday. If they're playing tomorrow, then we'd have a problem.
Oh, if they schedule the Saturday game, okay, all right. So, but then again, you can't. I think what you had to. Did you need the premium? You didn't need the premium for yesterday. You need the premium for. You need a Prime for today or something, right? It wasn't on network today, was it? I don't think it was.
No, it was on Prime.
It was on Prime. Okay. Okay. Unbelievable. All right. So two votes for Dolly. I'll give a vote for Dolly, but I just, yeah. Okay. Wait.
Oh, by the way, I meant to say Dom Giordano. I know I said that completely wrong because I'm not from Philadelphia, so I apologize to the fans up there. Please.
Listen.
By the way, one more thing about Dolly Parton. When you talk about how she was the one that also took the vaccine, but you know what? After all these years, and they're always trying to put her on the spot of stuff. And for the most part, she's been pretty, keeping herself out of everything. Well, you know what? After a while, it's like, I don't know how much more fire or artillery that she has to go through constantly from the media to try to have to go and talk about something. Because I think she's tried her best to not put herself out there with a political stance. She's always tried to stay out of it. But what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, well. Oh, by the way, you made me say Dom Geronimo instead of Don Giordano. I apologize too.
That's on me.
I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize it. Dom Giordano. So,
I should have known better because I know the name. I should have known better.
Every time I come on,
Dom Giordano money. Right.
Dom Giordano money. Dom time. And I always joke because WPHT just will never hire me. It's become a running joke. I've been here since 2006. My first fill-in for WPHT was for Dom Giordano when he was on 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's how long. And then he's bounced around the different time slots, and now he's got the nice noon to 3, the old rush slot. So commendation to him, congratulations to him. But yeah, he was, and they were using me a lot to fill in for Dom. Believe it or not, he actually took a day off or two back then, and I don't think he's taken a day off pretty much since 2006. Has he, Henry?
Oh no, he's here all the time.
It's an amazing run. So we tip our hat to him, but we do tease him. But now if you say his name wrong, George,
get the name right. D-O-M.
Yeah, he's Italian, so just you might send Cousin Vito to ask you how you doing. I'm going to start this quick. Just yes or no, both George first, you. Do you watch regular TV at all?
No, there's no cable, nothing on network TV.
Okay.
Maybe Magnum PI, only because my father watches it.
The reboot or the old?
The reboot. Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. Thanks for being on the show. George. We got to go now. Henry, I shouldn't say do you watch TV? Do you watch cable TV, as George better said?
I mean, like for sports and maybe like Sports Center on ESPN, but no. Not right.
I watch TV. If I'm on the treadmill, I'll watch Ancient Aliens, which is a favorite show of mine. That's like on a History Channel. But otherwise, it's all streaming because you want to watch what you want to watch when you watch it. And I can even watch Ancient Aliens, on demand. But everything's streaming: Netflix, Hulu, all of that. But television ratings have been going down. They've actually been collapsing for a decade. Okay. The weekend's Las Vegas Grand Prix was supposed to be the biggest Formula One race yet, but the event, it's been a mess, and the TV ratings for the sport are actually falling. But we've talked a lot of football. We talked Dolly dressed as a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, halftime shows. Live TV has been collapsing for a decade, but Americans are watching a lot more football. Interesting, after the knee scandal and all the different scandals, as Roger Goodell has done as much as he can to drive the fans away, they're watching more now than ever. George, why is that? You're the media guy.
Well, remember the last time I came on here, I think Taylor Swift might have a little bit to do with that.
You think people are watching more football because of Kelce and Swift and the Kansas City Chiefs?
Oh, I think there's some other things that go with it. By the way, I got to ask you this because it's NFL related. Have you heard the song, the Fairytale of Philadelphia, that got sung by Travis and Jason Kelce? Have you heard that yet?
I have not. Have you, Henry?
I'll be honest. I haven't listened to it yet. No.
So there's. I
have to be honest. I have not even heard of it. You've heard of it, Henry?
Oh yeah. I mean, this is their second year. The Eagles are releasing a Christmas album, and.
Oh, is that the one I saw a headline? The brothers had shot to number one or something.
Yeah, the
Kelce. It's like a little Irish jig kind of.
Okay, thing. I did hear. I did hear about it. Yes. Okay, I did not hear it though.
It's a cover of the song by the Pogues feature Christopher McCall called "Fairytale of New York," and there's both brothers that got in. It's actually really good. It's in one of my playlists on my Spotify right now. It's actually really good if you get a chance to hear it. Henry, I'd almost tell you to cue it up and play it out. There it is.
Way ahead of you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd love to hear we're running out of time here, guys. Okay, let me ask you guys this: is it supposed to be campy and bad?
I don't know. I think they actually put a real effort into it. It is. It's kind of tongue in cheek, but I think they did a good job.
Who's that singing in the beginning? Is that Jason or Travis Kelce? Which brother is it in the beginning? Do you know? Either one of you?
The gruffier one's Jason.
Yeah, it's
and Travis is like the more softer spoken.
Oh, okay. But I will tell you this, Henry. Last time George came on, he starts. I don't know. Taylor Swift's name came up, and he starts coming out with all these Taylor Swift. He even did what? Scooter? What's the agent that you were talking about?
Scooter Braun.
I'll just listen. This is before the Travis Kelce romance, Henry, and I'm just going to say that George knew a little bit too much about Taylor Swift. I think he's a closet Swiftie. I think he's a Swiftie, and he has not come out yet. It's okay if you are. The 1989 album is actually a good album, so I will tell you that.
Yeah, I don't own any of the albums, but listen, I think I can't help but respect the girl. She's great. She's smart.
Smart businesswoman, and talented, and she's hot.
And Travis is following her to art. Travis is following her to South America to her concerts and all this stuff. Like, come on, it's like on his week off.
Oh, I want to make clear that it was a bye week because we don't need the haters starting to send emails. It was on a bye week. Hey, Henry, good or bad? Taylor Swift for the NFL, for the Chiefs. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, the NFL loves it. I mean, they're showing her, at the game every 5 seconds. I mean,
but now they're saying, like, if she's not there and they happen to lose, they're saying that's the reason. That's not true. They just happen. You got to lose sometime. I mean, 72 Dolphins was a long time ago. That's not happening.
It is very coincidental. I will say that much.
Then the poor guy fumbled Monday Night Football. Yeah. Oh gosh! And I was like, oh, this is. When I saw that, I was like, oh, this poor guy. They're gonna really. And she wasn't there. Oh, shush. Unbelievable. So, but anyway, back to this. So like I said, most people just stream, right? Because you want to watch this show, that show, a movie. You're in the mood for a stand-up comedy. You're in the mood for a dark comedy. You're in the mood for a drama. You want to watch, one of those, The Crown. You want to watch one of those type of things. Just watch it when you feel like it. You're technically still watching TV, but I think most people stream because it's just convenient. Quickly, George, what do you say? 15 seconds we got.
Well, remember, when it comes to like Monday Night Football, the Eagles game they had, against the Chiefs, 30 million people watched it. But that was also on network, on cable, on streaming, across the board.
But
people
they go,
they watch. Their way to watch it.
They watch, though. They're there. Hey, George, we got to leave it there. I'm sorry. This hour went so fast. George Hermida at King of Podcasts, kingofpodcasts.com. Thank you again for your time. You are listening to 1210 WPHT. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Rich Cioli, weekday afternoons 3 to 7. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.